I would next like to introduce Adam Oakes. And Adam, can you please share a little bit about you and about Estimating Edge? Because I'm so excited for everybody to hear more about this.
Well, I'm excited that you're excited. Thanks, Heidi. I've been around the construction industry for my whole career. I was a pilot in the U.S. Army. Very young age, got out and joined a company called CMD, which provides construction data and plan rooms to contractors. And so back then, that's when our customers would walk into the plan room and do an actual takeoff on a real blueprint.
I remember those days.
Pre-internet, aging myself a bit. But of course, I'm with Estimating Edge now, and we're over 30 years old with a combined takeoff and estimating solution for specialty trade contractors. And specifically, we're very deep in the roofing industry. We'll talk about some data in a second, but that data will be very strong because probably 70–80% of the top 100 commercial roofers use Estimating Edge, along with many other roofing customers as well. So we're happy to be here today. So what we did is we've got an analytics tool in the background of our system that we're going to let others use one day, but right now we just see it. But I ran roofing bids for 2019, 2020, and Q1 of 2021. You can see the data there. And of course, we saw, everybody knew the economy was going great. Q1 2020, just before COVID, had good, strong growth over 2019. But where it became surprising, even though we saw a little bit of a dip when COVID came out, it still stayed above 2019 and 2020 for bids. So bids continued to, be above and flat. But as you roll into 2021, that Q1, you can really start to see it move. And just looking at March, it eclipsed 19 and 20. So the data there with the bidding is pretty remarkable. Talking to customers and seeing the kind of data behind the scenes, I think you're going to start to see, or already are, probably more competitive bids, maybe more people bidding on the same project. That's the kind of trend that we're seeing. However, we know that everybody's really busy, so I think it's wide open as we start rolling into the rest of the year. But the other piece that we saw is, certain types of projects like data centers, healthcare, pharma, obviously, big box type projects. We're really starting to see those. So even though there may be a consistent run of type of projects, the projects are certainly getting bigger from what we see.
As you're looking at what the contractors are really working on in first quarter, we know that the bids are out there, but what are you hearing from them? Is it new construction, re-roof? Is it kind of this big, just overall demand? What are you hearing?
I'm hearing overall, I'm hearing both absolutely happening. I think there's probably, as Will was talking about, a lot of maintenance going on, but I'm still seeing a lot of re-roofs and a lot of new construction that is at least being bid. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes my visibility is where the estimates are happening, but not like when they're doing the work, although that's picking up. But when I speak to my customers, they're saying it's consistent, that it's not really changing. The work's consistent. And we talk. I talk a lot about commercial, but I saw something in the Wall Street Journal this morning. There are 4 million less homes than there is demand for homes right now in the U.S.
Gosh.
I don't see any slowdown in residential construction, and that ties back to the economy, which creates more demand on the commercial construction. So, as Daryl was saying, I think there's a lot of excitement, a lot of things happening. What I'm seeing in technology is exactly what you saw. Personally, from our company, we've moved to the cloud for most of our solution, and we had a lot of customers that just were really, scared of changing in technology. We know that happens in construction across the board, but once the pandemic hit, like everybody was calling us faster, we could call them to get on the cloud because they're working virtually and everything's happening. So we saw that movement, which is pretty simple technology, happen really quick. I think what's going to happen though is as customers choose to either embrace technology or not, that differentiation and competitiveness is really going to start to stand out from how they actually estimate a project, how they tie all their systems together, move more quickly, to all the way in the field using AR, VR technology. I think big data And analytics, driving data-driven decisions are going to be one of the biggest things that people need to be considering as they move forward, because it's going to get more and more competitive. As people see opportunity, they're going to jump in with new technologies, and those companies that are not using that data may make poor decisions and lose money on jobs or not win that job that they want to win. And for us, I'm starting to see the advent of 3D technology, which ties back into the AR world. If you're not using 3D or BIM technology through the process, it's going to be very difficult to tie any kind of augmented reality back to the system. So for Estimating Edge, we've actually got a new technology that's kind of in stealth mode right now, but it's a way to use some of those technologies to move as much as 80% faster than maybe people are doing today on the pre-construction side, at least. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and people need to jump on board, or I think they'll be left behind. Technology is my business, and I would say the best time to invest in technology is when you're small. When you're a big behemoth company, it's very hard to change technology. It's hard to move people. It's hard to invest. It becomes more expensive. But if you can get the right technologies in place, whether that's estimating or stuff work you're doing in the field, like what Daryl was talking about. I mean, that was amazing what you were talking about with having that data using machine learning to understand where the deficiencies were in the roof. But having that technology early can cost you so much less. And then as you grow, that technology can grow with you. But always continue to look at how those technologies work together, whether it's APIs or other import-export type work. But technology is going to be key to differentiating yourself from someone that's doing it by feel.